Hello everyone, Silverstruck here. Welcome to the Silverstruck channel. Heck of a score today at the local coin shop and could not wait to share all of these bars with you. Ended up acquiring a little bit better than 46 ounces of vintage silver, a little under 47 ounces. And the reason why that ounce count, that weight is a little bit fuzzy, if you will, is because we have a lot of odd weight bars here on the table, so the ounces aren't going to come out to an exact number. And that's part of the fun with collecting vintage silver, especially the really old bars. I'm thinking some of these bars might be from the 1970s. We have some lesser seen refiners here, a couple Liberty Mint bars, then I have a couple bars that are stamped generic. Little known on those, still doing research. The only really well-known refiner would be the one dead center on the table, that GA bar right there. It's Golden Analytical. I'm going to share each and every bar with you up close, just for some fun. Check them out. They all have unique character. But before I do that, I would like to talk about how I acquire vintage silver like this so routinely. Sometimes I'll get comments in the comment section asking about that. Some of you don't have the same kind of luck I do, and a little bit baffled to how I'm able to consistently find vintage silver. And there's a couple reasons for that. I often find vintage silver in the generic bin. That does happen, and it happens quite a bit, but most of the silver found in generic bins for me are the pressed variety. So 1 ounce silver art bars or 5 to 10 ounce generic looking pressed bars. But that's how I'm able to find those, is because a lot of dealers, when they bring this silver into the coin shop, they're looking for the poured bars like what you're seeing here on the table, not so much the press bars. So oftentimes vintage press bars, even pretty obscure or rare ones that are worth a lot to collectors, end up in a generic bin. So that's a really great way to go, is look for those press bars, those pressed vintage bars in the generic bin mixed in with all of the modern bars. Now, how I was able to get all of these poured bars is because of a close relationship I have with the local coin shop owner. And I've talked about this several times in past videos. If you really want to be successful acquiring some of these bars, you have to do a lot of buying and selling with your local coin store. Let them know what you're looking for. Bars like this will be put aside for you in some cases. In this particular case, all of these bars were put aside. When I walked in, the bars were brought out, put in front of me, and I had a chance to purchase them, so I bought all of them. So here's a pic of exactly what that looked like at the coin shop. All of the bars there, as you can see, they're on the part of the counter where there's gold. So my plan today was completely messed up, because I did not plan to get any silver at all, really. I had gone there looking at gold and walked out the door with silver. That's just how it goes sometimes, especially if you have an addiction to vintage silver. That's just how it goes. So without any more talking about how these are acquired and so on and so forth, let's have a look at the silver. That's why we're here. I'm going to start here with the 10 ounce Liberty. As I was saying, a lot of these are odd weight. So 10.87 troy ounces, stamped Liberty, 3/9 fine. And this is an old school vintage bar shape. You can see a little pigtail there. You'll see shapes like this oftentimes on your really old silver bars. And as you can see here, we have some stamping. Liberty Refiners, Liberty Mint, 3/9 fine. Some nice pour marks in there. Really old school bar. So speaking of acquiring bars such as these, what did I pay? I was able to acquire this entire lot for $3 an ounce over spot, which is excellent. That's way, way better than purchasing from auction sites. Sometimes you just have to purchase from auction sites to be able to get what you're looking for. But that's what I'm talking about with trying to acquire vintage as close to spot if you can. And in this particular case, $3 over spot, your straight up generics might have been, let's just say $2 over spot or something like that. Here's that second Liberty bar, 10.32 troy ounces, so a little bit different of a weight. Same exact stamping, same exact shape. Some nice character. I like that end right there, a lot of pour marks there. It'll cut out the pigtail. And of course the reverse stamping. This one's a little bit more of a weaker stamp. But pretty neat that these Liberty bars have stamping on the front and the reverse. Now, a lesser known bar is going to be something like this. I did look up the history on Mineral X and found that only one of these was sold. That's not an F, that's an E, so Generic. And it has very similar stamping as the Liberty Mint bars and was sold in the same lot. So I wonder if Liberty might have produced this. I do not know. So if you do know something, don't forget to leave me that comment in the comment section. 10.23 troy ounce, 3/9 fine. Wonderful character. You can tell it's really old because you have some golden hue in those pore marks there. Some age on it. There, that's shaved down quite a bit. So really, really cool. Not much known on Generic. Speaking of Generic, let's talk about this 5 ounce, same refiner. We've got 5.27 troy ounces, same stamping, 3/9 fine, but of course different shape. I often find that these smaller bars, 5 ounce and under, are a lot harder to find. When bars like this were made, silver potentially was only $5 an ounce. So the bigger bars, I think, were a little bit more popular than the smaller bars, given the price of silver at the time. Of course, now we're looking at $50 silver. So it's a brave new world for all of us out there that have been at it a while. So next up is the GA bar. This one's a beauty. I love the shape. It's an odd shape. 3/9 fine silver, 10 troy ounces. Has a lot or serial number C6876. Now, I'm not a huge collector of this refiner. This might be my only one of the GA bars that are like this. There's a more rare variety with stamping on the reverse, and that's not one of these bars here. A little bit more common from what I can tell, but a wonderful bar just the same. Just a really, really neat bar. So out of the group, this one happens to be my favorite, even though to some of you out there it might be a little bit more common, let's say, rather than these more obscure bars. So there you have it, a wonderful score today at the local coin shop and a fun group of bars to acquire. I really enjoy this part of the hobby, and hopefully all of you watching do as well. If you do know anything about the Liberty or the Generic vintage bars, don't forget to leave me that comment in the comment section. And as always, thank you so much for watching.